If you're looking for inspiration for your Minecraft interiors, then don't click off this video. Welcome to Moving in Minecraft, a series where we cater to different client needs while they're moving into their new houses. We tackle all shapes, sizes, and colours of builds while factoring in the client's individual wants and needs. We use a mix of CIT resource packs and mods to create their dream home. These are now listed on the screen, but not all of them are used in every build. Today we've travelled to the coast to work on this darling little house. This place is owned by a couple in their 60s who moved here 20 odd years ago. While they love the peaceful location and dazzling seaside views, they long to be closer to their young grandkids. Instead of selling the house, they decided that they want to turn it into a little holiday rental. This allows others to enjoy the scenery and gorgeous coastal walks that the area has to offer, but means they can go back whenever they want. The pair have emptied the house and moved their furniture into their new place, so it'll be a completely blank canvas for us to work on. Let's take a look. This T-shaped house is definitely on the smaller side compared to our previous builds, but it is blessed with tall ceilings, which gives the illusion of a bigger space. There's plenty of windows in here, which means natural light is very common in this space, but the house also bears the most beautiful seaside views. The couple really wanted the interior to reflect the age of the house, so have opted for a rustic, traditional cottage kind of feel. They didn't want us to shy away from using colour, and they liked the ideas of lots of little details on the walls and countertops. My crew had been in at the crack of dawn laying down some new black brick flooring. As always, I started work on the kitchen by mapping out the counters and appliances. I used logs and placed them in a non-rounded semicircle position to flow with the room. I'd ordered a white Ghoulcraft oven to use and decided to place it on the side with the most wall space so we could build a fitted oven hood later on. The sink had to go in front of this window because what a view to have while washing up your dishes. I fitted a tap and a Mizuno's towel holder before building the cupboard drawers. Now, you may notice the lack of fridge, but as this is a rental and it will only be used by 1 or 2 people for a short amount of time, we decided it was best to fit a small under-the-counter fridge freezer instead of a big standalone one, and it also helps to keep those electric costs down as well. We used Mizuno's for our cupboard drawers and opted for the same wood colour as the actual cupboards to really help them fit with the rustic cottage vibe that we were going for. Next up, we fitted the oven hood, just a nice and simple one made from brick, blocks and stairs. In the afternoon, after a bite to eat, I started adding some life and personality to the room by decorating the walls and counter spaces. Mizuno's is our go-to for any traditional cottage furnishings. I picked up these shelves to use on the walls and cluttered them with plants, plates and books, and used some herb racks to fill in any additional space. We went on to adding some bigger, useful items such as a toaster and these jars full of seasoning. On the opposite wall, I decided that I wanted to remove the end counter and add a little log stool instead, which could be used to perch on when your feet get sore from cooking. I made the most of the newly bare wall space and hung up a dustpan and brush, handy for some light cleaning. We'd ordered this even bigger herb drying rack, so decided to place it next to the window. This window stays open a lot, so putting it there means fresh air can be let in when the smell of herbs gets a little bit too overwhelming. I littered the rest of the counter space with a chopping board and some berries to nibble on from Moondrop CIT, and this gorgeous vase filled with lavender from Garden Breeze. Instead of using a large rug to fill the space, I made the kitchen feel more open by laying down this brown runner. It's hardy and it won't need much more than a dab with a damp cloth if it gets messy. The kitchen is looking pretty good, so let's move on to our next space before the end of the day. We've been requested to make the dining area small and cosy. We want to make it less cluttered than the kitchen, but still want that homely feel to seep through from the decor. In the late afternoon, I laid down some white mushroom blocks to act as a carpet in the proposed eating area. I wanted to take full advantage of the window space here, so I placed down some wooden Ghoulcraft chairs underneath it and assembled a table that we had custom designed with Ghoulcraft table legs and oak trapdoors. my team got their hands on this gorgeous table runner from a charity shop, which, to my pleasure, was still in its original packaging with the tags on. I laid that on the table, then put down some Moondrop tableware ready for when their first guests arrived. The final job before home time was to decorate the dining room wall. I put up this pretty hanging plant, and then I hung up some decorative china plates that my team had found as part of their charity shop haul. Next up went some more shelves, and then it was time to retire for the day. Let's glance at the couple's requirements for the living and sleeping spaces. Due to this being a short-term holiday let, the owners don't want us to waste space on a bedroom, so asked that we purchase a sofa bed instead. While there are some beautiful walks nearby, for those lazy days that we all love, the couple want to make sure that there are lots of books to read and things to do inside the house that will pass the time for their renters. Using the same Ghoulcraft table legs as before, the team and I crafted this smaller counter space to house a TV. We put it in the corner to make the most of that space, and then we picked out a retro style television as a nod to the age of the house and to the owners. Despite this corner being on a smaller scale to the opposite wall, I still planned for it to be full of life, so added plants, some fiction books for the renters to sink their teeth into, and some wall decorations. For the opposite space, I put together this floor shelf from Ferncraft and dressed it with some games, puzzles, and more reading materials. A corner sofa felt like the best fit for this area, so with the help of my team, we assembled one from Hananacraft. The green tartan pattern was a perfect fit for the style we were going for, and when set up, this sofa turned into a double bed, and a quite comfy one at that. I really loved how the white mushroom blocks looked as a carpet under the table, so I used them again for the living space. I then laid down a contrasting rug made from brown mushroom, which really helped to add some depth to the room and incorporate some neutral tones. If you're a regular to this series, you'll know how much we adore a Ghoulcraft floor cushion. After dotting a couple of these woven cushions around, it was time to start with the wall decor. I'll be honest, it was a bit trial and error trying to find the right sort of placement for the artwork that we'd bought, but we figured it out eventually. As the day started to get on, we realised that we needed to add in some light fittings. Natural light can only get you so far. My crew and I fitted these black chains to the ceiling and hung a lantern off of each of them, which instantly flooded the house with a warm light. To maintain the privacy of the holiday tenants, we assembled some curtain poles and hung up these pretty flowy white curtains that we got from Mizuno's. We fitted these to almost all of the windows, but we left the ones on the tallest walls. I added some final bits and bobs and the inside was done. The next day we headed back to the house to work on the garden and plant some more trees. We'd spoken to the owners, who said that as the house will only be used as a holiday rental, they didn't see the point of having a proper garden as there wouldn't be anyone there to consistently maintain it. So we left the under window flower beds that were already there, but we only planted tall grasses and a few flowering bushes to bring in some colour among the green. We also built a little clothes washing station near the house. Now, the part you've all been waiting for, the before and afters. This sweet coastal cottage was once happily lived in, but needed some attention to get it looking vacation ready. It has an incredibly simple garden, which makes it easy to manage when it's not being rented out. The entrance to the house now leads you into a dining room, which makes you feel the nostalgia of visiting your grandparents as a child. A beach view from the window not only makes for nice scenery to gaze at while you're eating, but who doesn't love to people watch? You're hit with colour and warmth as you walk over to the kitchen. The room smells faintly of herbs and sea air, and you can't think of a more stunning location to prepare your food. Deliberately cluttered kitchen walls and busy counters make this place feel like home, even if you're only staying for the weekend. The rustic counters bears a small fridge freezer as well as plenty of space for pots and pans, and local fresh bread is provided ahead of every holiday stay. Providing a slightly more natural colour scheme, this homely living and sleeping space is the perfect place to kick your feet up after a dip in the sea. There's no time to be bored here. You're surrounded by endless piles of books, board games and live TV. And don't be deceived by the lack of bed. This cottage core sofa transforms into a spacious sofa bed, ensuring that you get a great sleep each night. The owners can't wait to house their first guests in here now that we've done it up. I love it so much, I think I'll have to book a trip here too. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe to let me know that you're enjoying this content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.